रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये namaha. Sundarakand, chapter number 12, The Despair of Maruti. The recitation begins now. Ever intent upon finding out where Sita was hid, Maruti passed through the huge dormitory and beheld many a bower of creepers, pavilions of strange design, and villas specially arranged to spend the night in pleasure and happiness. He searched everywhere most carefully, but the lady Sita, the paragon of beauty, blessed not his eyes. Alas, search as I may, most carefully through the length and breadth of this Lanka, I have not been able to find out where the noble partner of my lord Raghuvira is kept in durance vile. Has she laid violent hands upon herself to escape the torturing grief of separation from her beloved? The daughter of King Janaka was a noble ideal for women who wanted to tread the path of perfect wifehood. She counted nothing dearer than her utter purity of body and soul. And might it be, now that this fierce Rakshasa pestered her with his foul offers of love and repulsing him with bitters and thorns, was cruelly killed by him? Or was she, ever accustomed to feast her eyes and soul with the supernal beauty and loveliness of Raghava, was filled with terror at the sight of her Rakshasi gods, huge, deformed, distorted, repulsive, dull of face and cruel of eyes, and did it prove too much for her? No, my lord Sugriva is mightier than the mightiest and sterner than fate. He fixed 1 full month as the limit of her search. I have wasted it in idleness and sport in the company of my friends. Here am I with no news of the whereabouts of Sita, or of the strength and weakness and resources of the enemy. How can I dare of taking myself into the presence of my master with an empty hand? I have done my best. The innermost apartments of Ravana holds no pinpoint that has not come under my careful search. But I beheld his wives, one and all of them, and the lady Sita of unshaken fidelity is not among them. It is to no purpose that I crossed this huge waste of waters 100 yojanas broad. It is all in vain that I overcome one after another the mighty obstacles on my way. It is utterly fruitless that I took a minute shape and searched this town through and through. Now, should I return with a brand of failure on my face? My friends, the monkey heroes who are eagerly expecting my return and assuring one another, "Oh, Hanuman has crossed the sea and reached Lanka by this time. He will return with our dearest hopes fulfilled beyond our expectation. We can afford to cast away from us care and anxiety. No more grief for us, no more misery or danger." They will crowd around me with eager hearts to drink the welcome news from my lips. Prince of heroes, you have done what the mightiest of us could never even dream of doing. Doubtless you have been blessed to come upon the beautiful lady Sita. Ravana and his capital hold no secrets from you. Now relate to us in detail the history of your mission and the glorious deed you were privileged to achieve there. Now what shall I reply to them? Nay, my friends, I crossed the sea, I reached Lanka, I searched from end to end, but I failed to come upon the whereabouts of Lady Janaki. Is this the reply that they are waiting for? My friends very cleverly got themselves out of this dangerous mission by acquainting him with their relative strength and prowess. But I kept away from them at that time and was cheated by sweet praise of Jambavan into blabbing forth my might and valor. I have to thank myself for getting into this tight corner, and I cannot expect any other to get me out of it. I never stayed to bestow a thought upon the nature of the work I promised to undertake, and madly and foolishly passed my word that I would see it done. And foolish that I am, I made matters worse by trumpeting forth when I started, "Oh, I will reach Lanka in the twinkling of an eye, even as the arrow shot from the mighty bow of Rama. I will search it from end to end and through it through, and will come upon the lady Sita. Should I fail, then I shall discover her whereabouts, though I have to visit the 14 worlds above and below. Should I fail even then, I shall come back to Lanka and bring Ravana in bonds. Should I fail to find him there, I will rouse up the island and fling it here. Even so did I boast and play nicely into their hands. And now I have given a free hand to the aged Jambavan, who cozened me with sweet praise, and Angada and the other friends who followed suit to jeer and mock at me as a brainless braggart. But if I remain here and never go back, there is a rub. When the time for my return passed, my friends, the monkeys, will surely decide that I have fallen into the ocean during my flight through exhaustion, or the Rakshasas might have been too much for me, and one and all would betake themselves to the halls of the king of death on the wings of starvation. He let himself be overpowered by faint-heartedness and despair for a while. Then he got out of it with a mighty effort and cried, "Somebody kick me for the prince of fools!" Gloom and despair lay the axe at the root of success in our plans. Resourcefulness, enthusiasm, and a courage that never dies. These are the gates that lead to everything great and good. Enthusiasm is the giver of rare happiness. It is what impels a man to achieve the most wonderful deeds. It is what crowns with success every effort of man. So I will even saturate myself with it and try again. I will even start afresh the land under the rule of Ravana, the drinking saloons, the flowery bowers, studios, picture galleries, houses of dalliance, pavilions, villas, gardens, aerial cars like Pushpaka, mines, subterranean halls, guardhouses at the crossroads, and the pleasure houses built far away from the mansions for people to disport themselves unrestrained. He got up some places, got down others. He stood and peered into some spots. He glanced at some as he walked on. He opened the doors and windows lightly and took a brief survey within. He entered others. He passed through some. He followed the mazes of the underground passages. And thus he left not a pinpoint unsearched in the vast harem of Ravana. The roads within the fort, the platforms at the crossroads, the tanks, the pools, all these were the objects of his thorough search. He came upon Rakshasis of various types, ugly, deformed, hideous, but the lady Janaki was not among them. He beheld Vidyadhara's ladies of marvelous and peerless beauty, but Sita, the joy of Rama's life and soul, was not among them. He met noble dames of the Nagaloka with faces like moon in its full. But the lady Vaidehi, the ideal of grace and loveliness, was not among them. He saw the women from the Nagaloka carried away as a prize of valor over their kinsmen. But the lady Sita, dear to the heart of Janaka, was not among them. Maruti was a darling son of Lord Vayu. It was but a child's play to him to try to lay hands upon the Lord of Day. He had no equal in intellect and perfect counsel. Yet his heart was weighed with unspeakable grief as he beheld gems of womanhood, countless in number, but beheld not the lady Maithili among them. Of boundless might and dauntless heart, yet the prospect of dark disappointment and cruel death to the hopes of the monkey lord, and his own marvelous feats of crossing the sea and secret entry to the capital of Ravana and thorough search therein, turned his fortitude to water. And he got down from the Pushpaka and fell a prey to grief. Mangalam Koshalendraya Mahaniya Gunate Chakravarti Dhanurjaya Sarva Bhaumaya Mangalam.